the anima of the world was so heavily damaged that Guthix began to stir from his slumber. Guthix Awakens. While Guthix began to stir in pain, he did not awake until a ritual was performed by 4 druids: Rhea, Atru, Rief, and Thera, each a powerful mage aligned to a different element. They were soon joined by a 5th mage named Eternum, who could control the flow of time. These mages and Guthix immediately sought out the remaining gods. Armadyl left willingly, filled with melancholy at the genocide of his people and the death of his husband in the explosion.
Armadyl was young, naive, and easily led. It made him dangerous. But he was wise enough to understand the value in what I was doing. He understood why gods could not be allowed to remain. He had lost everyone to Gillinor: his people, his hopes, his husband. So, he understood the inescapable truth. War always carries too high a price.
Guthix felt pity for Zamorak, but the damage was done.
Zamorak was broken, bleeding, and defeated when I spoke to him. He had fought almost every other god just for the right to survive. I wanted to have sympathy for him. I could understand his anger, his pain, his loss. But there was no overlooking his crime. The scars of his fury had torn the land apart, destroyed once vibrant Forinthy, and left it a desolate wasteland, all because he had refused to surrender, because nothing was worse than defeat. I gave him no choice to remain. I do not regret that decision.
Saradomin left willingly, but were the circumstances different, would have willingly fought Guthix to the death for the right to remain.
The god of order and wisdom refused. He was needed here. I think he believed it. He wanted to see his people safe, and to him I was little more than a child playing at being a god. He would have challenged me, I think, but I had drunk deeply from the world and grown strong on the nectar of the elder gods. The god of wisdom knew better than to challenge me immediately. I knew when he left, he would always be trying to return.
Guthix met with Brassica Prime and decided that he played an essential part in the world's anima cycle and deemed that he was worthy to stay.
I had pondered long and hard what to do with Brassica Prime, and our conversations troubled me at first. It gave me complicated responses, full of confusion, but still displaying a deeply profound connection to the anima mundi, deeper than almost any other I had encountered. My only resolve was that I could not banish this one.
Other gods like Marimbo and the Fremennic god V left willingly, knowing their place. Elidinus, Karazi, Rahani and Shaika were banished as well, whether willing or not is unknown. Amaskut and Icthlarin were allowed to remain, not powerful enough for Guthix to be concerned at the time. The same was said for most of the Majorat. Bandos did not willingly leave, and Guthix formed a coalition from the remaining forces of the gods, and fought his armies all the way to Bandos' throne room on Gielinor.
I have seen what you did to these poor creatures' homeworld. I will not let you repeat this on Gielinor. You will leave this world at once and not return.
I will leave. Orcs, order your vassals to assemble here. Prepare everyone for transport to Ubias.
No, they are creatures of this world now, and deserve to live free of your interference.
These creatures are mine, and I will do with them as I...
Guthix snapped his fingers, and Bandos was gone.
Bandos did not go quietly. I don't know why I ever thought he would. Our battle raged years, and he hurled countless followers at my feet, like they were arrows slung from a bow. He was everything I needed to stop, everything I forged these edicts for. In a great battle, I struck the final blow, knocking him down. In rage, he stared at me and demanded I end it, demanded that I honor him by death in battle. But honor is the currency of fools, and the pursuit of glory is an empty quest. I cast him out among the stars, but I know he would always try and claw his way back.
Guthix hadn't yet approached Seren, but she knew her time was soon to come. She knew that she could not leave the elves, lest they die, so she had come up with a solution of her own.
So much has happened since Guthix removed himself from this world. I thought if I were ever to see him again, it would bring joy to both our hearts, but we have found nothing but sadness. The petty squabbling of the young gods has awoken him. He has taken the example of my barrier around Tiranwen and applied it to the world as a whole to stop the evicted gods from returning. I am glad he has returned and put a stop to them. I am glad that he has returned to me too, but he no longer asks me to leave this place. He demands it. In that moment I confessed to him what I had done to the elves, and hence why I could not, and why I still cannot. There was only one course of action. I would be leaving, just not with Guthix. He tried to convince me otherwise, but upon realizing my resolve, he conceded, and with no words left to speak, he bowed his head, then turned and left. I accept now that even divine beings can die, and that my time has come. At least I go knowing that the harm I have caused these gentle people can and will eventually be undone, and that my death will not lead to theirs.
Seren shattered herself into countless pieces. By expelling her energy, Tiranwen would be forever infused with it, and any fragments of crystal would, from then on, be enough to sustain elves, wherever they may travel.
She was the most painful of them all, but it had to be done. There could be no major gods on Gielinor, or the whole thing was doomed to failure. She pleaded with me to find another way, not for herself, never for herself, but for her elves, her devoted children. She knew, as did I, that without her they would die. But there was no other way. For there to be balance, real balance, there needed to be sacrifice. She kissed me, and then told me that she loved me. Then she left me. She shattered into 1,000 pieces and spread herself among the elves, that they would always feel her presence, that they would live. I loved her. I missed her. But there was no other way.
4,508 years after Zaros was betrayed at the hands of his most powerful general, Zamorak, Guthix built a wall around the world made of pure anima. Guthix had grown close to the mage Eternum as time passed, and named her the World Guardian, merging her soul with that of Rhea, Atru, Rief, and Thera, creating the Balance Elemental.
The stone has defied my attempts to destroy it. If I am to withdraw from this world and leave you in peace, the stone requires a protector. I have gathered you here at this ritual site, in the icy shadow of this mountain. Here we shall channel the power of your elements through these sacred standing stones and achieve a blessed union. You four shall maintain the balance. You will be my final guardian of this age. Reef, wielder of the everlasting flame. Thera, druidess of the glade. Rhea, lady of the heavens and wielder of lightning. Atru, the Aquamancer. Finally, Eternum, the Eternal One, she who lives outside of time. You were with me at this journey's beginning. You have borne the power of the World Guardian through the ages, and been witness to a future that even I shall not live to see. You witnessed even the demise of your successor. With each turn of the great wheel, you have been and shall be there, a frozen witness sharded across time. I fuse you now into one being. As I return to the slumber from which you freed me, I task you to watch over the stone, and to protect the stone until such time as, near to death, whereby you are relieved of all duties, and shall henceforth be returned to your home plane with the gratitude and blessings of Guthix.
The Colossi, Fiara and Voluta, became Guardian of the Fist of Guthix and Guardian of the Void, respectively. Juna, who viewed him as a father, became Guardian of the Tears of Guthix. Ipcres became the Guardian of Guthix's resting place. Solak, the Guardian of the Grove. All of these people, along with Ocellus, one of Zaros' pet Viri, and Harold, the Grim Reaper, were imbued with Guthix's divine energy and became the Guardians of Guthix. They were tasked with the protection of Gielinor forevermore. With the Third Age finally reaching its end, and the gods dethroned, Guthix entrusted all mortal kind to its own devices, bringing the beginning of the Fourth Age, the Age of Mortals.